Hey guys, we released a video on the Japan channel yesterday. Quite an innocent video. It was a restaurant that the owners had tried to make sort of American style. They'd put up some bit of a log building, and they sort of called it an American style restaurant, put an American flag outside. And it's just sort of a bit of theme, you know, a little bit of a theme to it. And we put that on our food and eating playlist with 100 plus other videos on there. And the comment section's gone crazy. There was a gun on the wall in the restaurant, and I happened to make a comment about it. And because the restaurant was American too, so those two things have set off a whole barrage of comments and arguing between people about gun rights and gun laws and guns in general and rights in general and freedom and democracy and all sorts of crazy stuff. So interesting. I've made videos on the Japan channel about Italian restaurants in Japan and French restaurants in Japan and all sorts of restaurants in Japan. Never seen such a thing. But mention America just once and everybody's debating it. It's all going crazy. So this purpose of this video is just because there's a few claims and little comments on there before about freedoms and democracy and all this sort of thing. And I've noticed this before, is that quite a common theme on the internet and in the world in general about freedoms and democracy, and often people claim that America has the most freedoms and the best democracy in the world. And there was one person that took it a step further, and they were claiming that America invented democracy and gave the world democracy and all this sort of stuff. So, which is interesting because I thought that the Greeks actually coined the word democracy because it comes from the Greek words that mean people power, and I thought they did that 2,500 years ago. About 400 BC, if I remember rightly, the Greeks had the first democracy, so they actually founded democracy. And in the modern world, there's obviously countries all around the world that have never had any interference or any involvement by America at all, that have quite happy freedoms and democracies and so on. So, you know, I come from one. Australia's an example, and there's lots of others. I mean, we've got people watching this video from all around the world who live in democracies that have never had any involvement with America. So there's lots of examples, and I'm sure lots of you guys already know that. The other thing was the gun thing. We've addressed the gun thing before. We made another video once before. Do guns make you safer? On this Silly Old Dude channel, there's a video on that already. So if you want to debate whether guns make you safer or not, that's there. But as far as the freedoms, there's some people who seem to think that the freedom to have a gun is really important. And again, there's some people claiming that America is the most free place because you can have guns. Well, I actually did a bit of research on that, and I found that the Czech Republic, anybody who does not have a criminal record can buy and carry a gun. So that's across the Czech Republic, that's the whole country. So I know that some states in America has that freedom, but not all of them. So to claim that America has the freest gun laws and because of that you're the freest people, Czech Republic has sounds like they have freer gun laws. It might also be worth researching a little bit about Switzerland and a couple of others. I actually wrote them down. What was it? Serbia and Yemen had some pretty interesting gun laws as well. So this, again, I'm not claiming to be an expert on any of this stuff. All I'm basically doing is putting some ideas out there that you guys can do your own research on and discuss between you. And we've got people here watching this video that are from all countries around the world, so you guys know firsthand what goes on in your own countries. So basically what we're wanting to hear is just a matter of interest, because there's a lot of claims that are often made about America having the most freedoms and the best democracy. What are the examples? Would be my question. What freedoms and what democracy and what democratic freedoms do you have in America that you don't have in any other country? Because, for example, people are often saying on the internet that America has the most freedom and they have more freedom than anyone else. But I don't actually know any examples of any freedoms that my American friends have that I don't have in Japan. or I didn't have in Australia. So if you can think of any examples, except the guns, Australian gun laws are now tougher, and Japanese gun laws are much tougher than the American gun laws. So I think most countries would concede that America has the right to have more guns. I have a stronger right in Japan than not be shot with a gun. the statistics show that the chances of me being shot in Japan by a gun is really remote. Whereas in America, I think people will find that the statistics show that chances of being shot in America is much higher. So that's a right you have that you don't have in other countries. Sorry, not meaning to be flippant, but it's true, right? So democracy. Oh, I did a little bit of research on this too. Have a look at a company called worldaudit.com. worldaudit.org. They actually did a thing with civil liberties and democracy comparison thing, and they actually found Finland had the most civil liberties and the most democracy, and that was number 1, and they actually found USA was number 15. So that's interesting. Have a look at that for yourselves. And another group did studies on economic freedoms. So that's the freedom that you have to operate your economic stuff, your businesses and things freely. And they found that America was number 10. So the idea of this video isn't an anti-American video. I didn't come to this topic. This topic came to me. This topic came to our video on our Japan channel about Japan. This topic came there. I didn't come to it, it came to me. And all I'm doing with this video is just addressing a couple of those topics that we all have the right to address. So everybody else on there has the right to discuss it, so do I. And I thought it might be interesting to sort of nail down a few of the topics and discuss them a bit further. I've already done a video on do guns make you safer. I've already done a video on how bad anti-American stuff is. So none of this is meant to be anti-American. Because what you will find is that some of the craziest comments on my videos can be from Americans, but also some of the most intelligent, well-informed, well-educated, reasonable, well-balanced comments also come from our American friends. So generalizing about, you know, this nationality does that, or that nationality does that, or these people are this, or these people are that, is silly. Because there's nut jobs and brilliant people in every country. And so anti-Americanism's a bad thing, and anti-anything. We don't really want to see any abuse. Some people go some really crazy sometimes on these comments, really abusive, you know. As you guys know, I've had death threats over videos I've made before, which is just insane. So let's try and keep it reasonable, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, you know. Those people who think that America has more freedoms and more democratic rights than other countries, what are they? Tell us what they are, and then the other people who are watching from the other countries can tell us if they have those rights or not. Because I don't know any, but then I'm not that well educated on American law or, you know, laws of other countries of the world, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are, so let's hear it. You know, if America has more rights and you know, democratic freedoms than the rest of the world, what are they? Tell us what they are, and we'll compare them with the other countries. Yeah, and the other stuff, feel free to check it all out, you know, the gun laws, the democracy, history of democracy, you know, 2,500 years back, I think you'll find as far as it goes, and then the freedoms of the gun laws and things, compare them by country too. So, yes, guys, very interested to read the comment section. Again, quite often on this Silly Old Dude channel, the most educational and most interesting part of the video is actually not the video itself, is the comment section. And I believe this video will be another example of that. All I've done is basically throw out some ideas. That's all I'm doing, is throwing out some ideas to get the ball rolling, and it'll be up to you guys to decide between yourselves the realities of the situation. So anyway, thanks for that. Thanks for watching. Standing by for your comments. I'll go get myself a coffee and sit down and watch your comments. More videos coming soon.